Alright, it is 9:23 a.m. and it is April the 8th, 21. I think the watch list looks a bit like it was yesterday, upset that DSCR is here just because it's doing some kind of a run. I would be interested in it. It doesn't have to do it, but if it were to do some kind of breakout over the previous range and some kind of confirmed breakout, that would be interesting. I'm very happy with the success I had with trading IMVU yesterday for that slow number 5 setup. I'll be much more interested in that setup today. Maybe I'll do the same thing here, maybe not. These are all going to be number 5s to watch. KYNC, another one, and LTNC. That's the state that I'm in right now. I don't really see any other OTC stocks that I'm too interested in. I looked at Nasdaq's too. Nothing really interesting except for maybe, I don't like it too much. I think the flow or the market cap, I don't know which one it was, but it was just too high. I don't like the price, but this could make some kind of a run. This is my mindset at the moment. Just 6 minutes till the market open. Okay, it's 9:40 a.m. I could have in theory bought right here. I think I had my limit at 66.5, so that would have been right here. I actually would have had a chance to buy into it. The price action felt different. It didn't feel like it was going to have a stutter step and continue fading. I was actually anticipating a potential buy here. I just didn't do it. It kind of spiked without me. I missed this one again. The stock has just been very tricky. Although it's nice that it's doing it here and I'm not trading it. Let's see, maybe when I do trade it, it'll still work. But it only spiked for 2 minutes really. And another reason why I didn't consider it is that at its worst it was down roughly, well, yeah, the same level right now, about 6%. I was more interested in this stock if it was able to break the 65 level, because that would be a support level absolutely taken out. There could be stop losses and stuff like that, but if it's gonna double bottom here, that's fine too. Nothing for me to be true interested in. KYNC is not doing anything that I like. IMVU is not doing anything that I like either. DSCR looks like it's trying to do a drop, but it's just not that nice. This will be a choppy one. This will be like KYNC yesterday. This one was impressive. I looked at this. In theory, I could have bought it. DRNK is having this run yesterday, and it had a drop today, and it actually worked out. It actually bounced from 36 to 47. That's actually super impressive. So congrats on that. It's just more risky trading that stock because it was only up significantly one day instead of like a range of days. So like IMVU, very impressive. KYNC up many days. DRNK was only up one day, and it had that nice spike, so that's pretty good. I've seen that setup work before, just not always. This is more of a high odds setup, but if they don't drop, significantly enough for me to be interested, it's just not going to be a trade. Okay, it's 9:50 a.m. It did have this little spike here. I actually did consider buying it, and I would have made something, but it just hasn't dropped that much. The price action just wasn't that nice. I can't really explain it, but I was considering this for a slow number 5. It could very well work out. The only thing I really have against it is that it's just late in the pattern, so the pumpers might not give a crap about it staying up. They might just let it do whatever it wants. Whereas something like LTNC, maybe they're going to still try to hold this stock up so that they could keep pumping it or whatever. AITX just really isn't in that case. DSCR looks like it's starting to head down. I'm interested in seeing what AITX does. It looks like it's doing some kind of triangle right there, but I don't like the amount of people on the ask. It could be a slow number 5. I just probably won't take it because it's very late in the pattern for me to be interested in it. I'm going to be looking at other stocks, but that right there is an update on AITX. Okay, it's 10:07 a.m. Just want to make an update. LTNC, again, just didn't want to randomly dip by it, saying, oh, it's gonna, trend back the way it was. I wanted it to do some kind of a higher low, so we had a double bottom here, but I wanted a higher low. consolidated a lot here in the 67s, and then it broke this day low right here. So it's actually now much more red on the day. It looks like it was struggling to stay below VWAP. Probably try to get above it. Just too many people on the ask. KYNC, nothing I want to trade. Sure, I could have did body, but I like I said, I've been scarred for the moment trading dip buy strategies on stocks that are up, especially on the first green day, so I just don't want to do that. AZFL had some kind of like positive, you know, SEC whatever, like getting caught up with the SEC to avoid getting halted or whatever, which is good news. But bad news is that we had a big wall of sellers when it was up here at the 85s. Would be interesting if it cracks that 88 level and does some kind of a confirmed breakout. I'd be interested in that. RGBP could have considered a confirmed breakout here. I don't think I saw it in time. Wouldn't have mind trading that one, but yeah, it's definitely the state that I'm in right now. AITX, it did this right. It did do that sketchy triangle, and it did do that nice move. You know, at the best case was 62. And you know, right here was 59, almost 6, so 6 to 62, not the best range. And on top of that, it's just late in the pattern, but I'm surprised it did this. It did something, you know, it could have been much worse. So yeah, no setups right now, but I will keep looking. Alright, it's 10:17 a.m. Just a bit more excitement. LTNC had a very sharp drop, down 11%. Really looking at this closely, it could reverse right here. A lot of people on the ask, but could definitely reverse. Would have liked it if it dropped more, especially if it cracked 60, but we're just not getting that. KYNC, pretty impressive. Considered it for a confirmed breakout, but it didn't really do that, so it didn't hold. It didn't. The price action wasn't good. INVU's dropping too. That's interesting. 60 as well. RGBP, nothing I want to trade at the moment. I'll just be looking at LTNC, even if I missed it. This is going to be a watch, but definitely more excitement since the last video. Okay, it's 10:25 a.m. LTNC. Yeah, it's doing the uptrend. Disappointing. We had a triple bottom here at 61. It just never cracked 61, and again, ideally 60. I didn't break 60, so we're here at 638. Still a lot of people on the ask, although I'll be honest, the bid is full of people who are trying to buy this stock. So you know, it's just right now a watch. Would have liked it if it dropped more, but that wasn't the case, and that's totally fine. Unfortunately, I'm going to be looking at other stocks and different setups. Looks like a head and shoulders here with KYNC, a kind of choppy looking one. DRNK just went green on the day. I added it to the watch list for it. What do I mean for it? I mean that it could break the day high here. Well, not the day high, the previous day high at 57. If it does a confirmed breakout from there, I'll be interested. LTNC, we'll see. Maybe this thing will just keep. If it puts up a higher low from this level, I'll consider it for a slow number 5. Although it's kind of sketchy, it could randomly get halted, especially given its filings. KYNC, again, that sketchy head and shoulders. INVU is dropping. I'll be watching INVU now. That's the state that I'm in. No clear setups. Okay, it's 10:38 a.m. This is the state I'm in right now. RGBP just didn't want to trade it because this was a confirmed breakout. Broke past this day high right here. Mini stutter step, whatever you want to call it. 52. Goes back to 52. This would have been the buy opportunity, and then it just kept doing it. And then we had that head and shoulders here. That didn't work out. And then, okay, so let's do a 77 confirmed breakout, give or take. Maybe, to be specific, 74. I guess if you want to play that picky, sure, it did a confirmed breakout because it dropped there, but I never really noticed it. That was too minuscule. Very nice move, the 89. LTNC, maybe actually just had a wick. I was considering it for a slow number 5 setup. Not anymore, I think. KYNC also had a drop, broke VWAP, and I don't know, we have big sellers on the ask. It did this nice spike, but I just wanted it to drop more. Maybe I'm being too picky. IMVU did something similar, had that drop, and now it's putting up a higher low. This is the kind of stock where I can consider a buy. Except for that, if I risk off the day low, that's pretty far, 2 pennies. Maybe it's not far, but it feels like it. DRNK did break the 57 level. The problem is that it didn't spike much, so I would have considered a confirmed breakout if it spiked a bunch and then dropped at the level. This is not, it's just kind of holding it. It's not really providing a confirmed breakout setup. So this is a mindset that I'm in right now. I might consider a dip buy with IMVU. Maybe they'll try to, like push it back up, kind of like what it did here. Otherwise, no setups right now. Okay, it's 10:49 a.m. considered, and I went ahead and bought at 62. It's just not exactly as good as it was the other day, but I will be considering this for a slow number 5, just risking it off of 61. It can't be that much harder than that. If it drops to 61, I lose. Yeah, dude, I lose like $8. It's not that big of a deal. I actually lose like $4, so it's just gonna be a small trade again. I have to cut losses quickly here if it breaks 61, but it's just gonna be a watch. There was a lot of people at 62. It's just gonna be a watch. Ideally it starts putting up a higher low, and that would be nice. Just a tiny $200 position. I'm ready to cut losses if this thing cracks the 61 level though. Alright, I'll make an update, see if it cracks. Okay, it's 11:01 a.m. I'm just sitting very comfy with my stop at 669, so 609, so that means it cracks the day low and then it gets right here at stop loss initiated. Should sell it immediately, at least hopefully immediately, a market sell order. Very small $200 position. Honestly, I would already have sold by now because these things were wicks at this 61 level, and this is not wick action. This is more like consolidation. So if I had a bet, I bet that it's gonna break this level here and make a new low. I'll have my stop. If anything, it's just teaching me to hold a trade longer, and it's teaching me to do stop losses. It's teaching me to be patient when the price action isn't looking good, even though it looks like it's probably going to crack the day low. It's just learning to be disciplined in how you trade. I have the stop loss there, so I'm not crazy looking at it every tick. It's just going to execute hopefully when it happens. It likely is going to happen. Obviously the best idea would have been to just blindly buy RGBP and hold the rest of the day, but it never really gave me an opportunity for a dip buy, a confirmed breakout, not a dip buy. This would have been the level right here. I guess maybe you counted this as a confirmed breakout, but if it would have spiked more to like 90 and then dropped, that would have been nice. But hey, this might be a very nice stock that can make a dip buy setup tomorrow. Not a dip buy setup, some kind of a confirmed breakout setup. I'm still too scared to consider dip buying just randomly. This is like a number 5 because it dropped more than 10%, had a nice run up, and then they might try to keep the pump up so they can keep pumping it, so they're gonna start buying it back. But that's not the case. Again, it could be similar to KYNC yesterday, although KYNC yesterday was better. It just offered better price action. I forgot where exactly I bought. I bought somewhere here in the 63s. I'd have to look at a screenshot again, but that was a much better setup. than this one here with LTNC, but I have my stop ready to go. I gotta say, it's gonna do a nice crack. That's what it looks like. Worst case scenario, it's gonna crack the day low and I don't get my stop executed, which would really suck, but I'm gonna trust this broker just a little to think that it can do that. If it wasn't for that plan, Tim Grotani style, I'd have probably have sold already somewhere here, but I'm just gonna play it out like this. Okay, it's 11:05 a.m. Just wanted to make a quick update. IMVU could have been ideally that number 5 setup. The slow number 5 could have been a buy here because it's technically a higher low from this wick right here. Problem is that the volume isn't that good. KYNC could do that VWAP triangle setup I thought about previously. The only thing I don't like about it is that it does not have much volume, but I will be considering it. LTNC is at 61.4. RGBP keeps going. It's pretty nice. Maybe it'll make a nice dip buy tomorrow that I won't trade because, again, I'm just kind of scarred from that other dip buy setup. Although, to be honest, that other trade was very different. The one I got burned, the 2 trades I made, was just much different price action, but I just don't want to trade dip buys right now, just until I feel better about it. DRNK did get to that 57 level, but when it did that drop here, it got to 52, so it wasn't really a confirmed breakout because it was kind of a bit too far from the level, and now it's struggling right under a big seller there, so it's not really a clear setup. Just wanted to make a quick update on the other stocks. Alright, it's 11:17 a.m. and it's probably gonna crack here. It's at 61. We'll see how this thing does cutting the the stop loss. Hopefully it works, right? I don't think it would warrant such a big tsunami drop that the order doesn't get executed immediately. At least I hope that's not the case. Because if that is the case, that's going to be pretty bad. It was pretty fun looking at all the LTNC army pictures and tweets on Twitter, just people pumping up this hydrogen infused drink or whatever they want to call it. It looks like it's going to crack the level. If I had to guess, I would have already sold here if I wasn't trading it Tim Grotani style. And by the way, if it breaks the level, it's not like it's Tim Grotani's fault or something stupid like that. There's just 2 ways of cutting trades: cutting losses quickly and cutting losses intelligently. And intelligently, although this might be stupid, is based off of this level right here at 61. We'll see. I thought I was going to do it at some point by now, but I guess it didn't, so I'll just keep holding it until it breaks it, because I'm pretty sure it will break it. But I think this is just teaching me to hold a trade longer, and I think that's the best part about this, just learning to use stops or just mental stops, just learning to play off the play. And let's see, we only have 20,000 bidders at 61. Again, I have like a tiny $200 position just to practice, really. It wasn't as good as KYNC, which kind of had like a higher low right here off of this level, and this one went up to the 70s. It's just not as good, and that's my fault. I should be getting executed here. Here we go. I got out at 60.01. Perfect. And I'm gonna guess that's a what, $4, $7 loss. That's fine. Again, just wanted to practice, really. This wasn't the best setup either. Plenty of other setups, especially RGBP. Now if this thing does an incredible drop, something crazy, I'll be considering this for a number 5. Otherwise, this is where I am at the moment. I'm glad that stop loss worked. It wasn't really that bad. Alright, it's 11:21 a.m. just looking at this for a potential number 5 setup. I'm going to be very cautious because we do see some nice price action, then all of a sudden a big chunk of red blocks just pushes it to a new low. So I'm probably going to play this very cautiously, at least ideally wait for at least 2 green candles unless they're just ridiculously large. A lot of stop losses being executed from people who had them at not so precise levels. Mine was great. I got executed at right here, 601. Perfect. Could have been better. Could have been worse. We'll see. This thing could be a potential number 5. It's just a watch for now. The red candles are getting a bit smaller, so maybe we are starting to find a bottom, but I'm going to play it very cautiously if I play it. Alright, it's 11:31 a.m. so I considered a buy at 25 right here. On the green candle, looked nice. The price action looked nice. There was a big seller on the ask getting taken out. Previously, I've been afraid of buying because the big seller on the ask is there, but then it gets taken out and it does a nice uptrend. Again, we had this nice panic right here, and it just didn't work out. I tried to cut losses quickly, control F1 to get out immediately, but I'm just going to assume it's not really the broker, and I can't trade on E-Trade until next month. I will be considering moving my money over the E-Trade just in case it is a problem with the broker and their crappy executions, but I'm going to assume it was just hard to cut losses, or at least to execute orders here. That sucks, man, because I got executed at the very low at 53, right at 53, I bought at 56. It's still, I mean, a 5% loss, but I don't want to do that, but it just wasn't able to get executed here. And there is still a lot of people on the ask, so I'm not going to reconsider for a buy. It's just going to be a watch for now, but I probably won't trade it. It's unfortunate, sure, but you know, I'm here for the long run. It doesn't matter in the long term. If anything, it just you know, makes me stronger. So it's just going to be a watch. Again, there's just a lot of people selling on the ask. And looking at their Twitter page, people are just starting to get the LTNC drink, so that's pretty much a sign that the end of the dump is already here. And if it continues to be choppy all the way down, that's unfortunate, but it can totally happen. I'll just see how this continues. I will be also looking at brokers that allow shorting these types of stocks. I think Cobra is one of them, and I'll look at other ones as well. It's just going to be a watch. This thing can spike without me. I don't mind. I'll keep looking. The trade was fine. You know, ideally if it was executed better, that would have been nice too, but it didn't happen, so I can't get upset at that. Okay, it's 11:46 a.m. I did not get in the trade afterwards. I just really missed it. But I don't regret it too much because there was always a lot of people on the ask, and there still is. Even though it looks nice now, all of this was just kind of sketchy looking until we had that big green candle, so I don't regret not missing the setup at all. It could have been so much worse. So I'm just going to leave it right here at the level that it's at. I will keep looking to see if it's going to continue the uptrend. You know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but again, even though it's right here at 58, this thing fought very hard to get to that level. Very hard. This thing worked really hard to get to that level. It'll just continue to be a watch. RGBP wouldn't have considered this. It's just a random dip buy. I don't want to do that. KYNC was considering that VWAP triangle setup that I picked up recently just to learn from. Didn't really do another follow-up dip, so just never became a buy. IMVU was definitely the slow number 5 setup that would have worked. Could have considered a buy here in the 59s. Got to the 61s. There is just not much range. DRNK, not interested in it either. Never did like a clean confirmed breakout over 57. In fact, it's like struggling under it. LTNC is pretty nice at 6 cents, but again, it just didn't get there nicely. It struggled really hard. Very hard. But it's nice to see it do it. We'll see how it reacts here at this 60 level. And yeah, I'll just make an update later. Alright, it's 11:56. Yeah, so best case scenario, I'd say what? 53? Yeah, 53 to 62. Very hard. Worked very hard for it, but we do see that fading volume, although it wasn't as nice. Again, I tried here the number 5 setup, didn't work out. I had to cut losses quickly. In theory, my execution wasn't the best, but it could have been worse. So then it was like right here trading again. Just a lot of people were on the ask. Look at all these small candles of just people dumping and buying at the same time. It was It was not looking good. A lot of people were on the ask, but it did this nice move. It's at 61. You know, it's not one trade is gonna change my life unless it's like a really bad losing trade, and this wasn't the case. I did my best here. The fact that I didn't get executed immediately, that's totally fine. I was looking at other brokers. Cobra is one that would have allowed me the shorter here when it just looked like an obvious short, but the minimum is 30K, so I'm not gonna have an account there anytime soon. If ever, I'll just have to keep trading here, and I will be going back to E-Trade. Maybe I'll try TD Immediate Trade, but I just can't be sure as to whether or not it was a broker or just a OTC stocks in general that it's just hard to execute. If I had to guess, LTNC could make a cup and handle, so here's a cup, maybe a handle towards VWAP and then bounce. The only issue is that if it does do like a drop for a handle, it might get stuffed by this 61 level right here, resistance, because it would be below it unless the handle just gets right at the level. It doesn't break it, but I don't know. I'll just keep watching it. It's not going to be a trade anymore. Obviously missed it, but I'm glad to see that it worked here. Again, I got another paper cut from LTNC, getting faked out by number 5s. Unfortunate, but you know, it could be much worse. I just have to keep getting better at it. RGBP, nothing I want to trade again. KYNC, no VWAP triangle. INVU, again, that would have been a number 5 setup. Slow number 5 setup that actually worked out. Probably would be selling already had I bought there. And DRNK, again, failed at 57. Confirmed the breakout setup that I was interested in. So it's just going to be a wash from here. Nothing I really want to trade at the moment. Alright, it is 12:21 p.m. I'm going to call it off here, and guess what? I nailed it. I called the cup and handle. Here's the cup handle. Boom. Did not trade it. Just, I guess I was just kind of worn out from all the trading. One trade here, which wasn't bad. It was just great practice, exercise, cutting losses intelligently. I knew it was going to crack, pretty much. It was going to crack, and I didn't mind it at all. Got to see a stop loss order get executed. Traded a very small position. Had I have had more money in it, of course I would have cut losses, because it went from, you know, wicking at this level to actually trading at that level. I would have definitely have cut, especially at when it gave me a chance here to sell in a 62 level or maybe in the 61 teens. That would have been nice, but again, just a small position, cut losses intelligently. That's exactly how I did it. And I tried again here for a number 5. Didn't work out. Got faked out. Classic LTNC. And it went ahead and worked this time. By then, you know, I was kind of tired of it. Worn out a little bit. And on top of this, there were just a lot of people on the ask. It pushed its way through. It worked very hard. And it did it very nicely. I didn't see it when it was really doing this. Maybe if I were to have seen it, I would have considered trading it. Again, just a bit iffy because it was slightly below this resistance level. It broke past it very nicely. So the promoters, I guess, are still interested in pumping this stock. Very nice. This is just going to be what it is for today. Total, I'm down like 31 bucks. So again, that's the good thing. I'm trading small position sizes. And had my order have been executed here much better when it cracked this level, that would have been nice too. I also tried to cancel the order for the dip buy here. I actually tried canceling it. I just didn't like it, but when I canceled, it got executed. So that's unfortunate in that part, but I don't regret it too much. It was a nice attempt, really. And I wanted to cancel it because I wanted to adjust my limit price because I didn't want to get executed like in the wick here at the top of my limits. Didn't want that. It actually got executed very nicely into the regular bid and ask. So yeah, just gonna call it off here. Really just nice number 5 spike, even though it struggled a lot. Nice attempt here, nice attempt here, nice cup and handle that I called off. I'll put a screenshot and save it on my computer to look back at, right at the VWAP level 2, although kind of iffy because that was a big level of resistance here. Pretty nice. I'm just going to call it off. I think I learned a lot. I look forward to rewatching this. recording, and I just have to keep going at it.